I need 1,000 digital color copies ASAP.
Ooh, sorry.
Need a copying miracle? Call Alpha Graphics.
Call or visit your nearest Alpha Graphics print shop.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
You are looking at a live shot of Westchester County, New York, where a mixture of sleet and snow is falling, creating potentially treacherous driving conditions, and it's not over by a long shot. We have a live report coming up. Good evening and welcome to Weather Center. I'm Bob Stokes.
And I'm Sharon Resulton. A winter storm is dropping everything from rain, sleet, and snow, and even freezing rain across parts of the eastern U.S. And it's that wintry mix that promises to make a mess out of rush hour in many spots. Dave Schwartz is following the storm live from the Forecast Center. Dave, what's happening?
Well, Sharon, we've had problems west of the Appalachians for days, actually for a couple of weeks, with just passing shots of some light snow along the East Coast. Now, Mother Nature has its eyes set on the East Coast, and ice and snow is going to be a problem for at least the next couple of days, depending on where you are. Here's what's going on. We've got cold air in place, and more cold air is heading south. I'm drawing the 32-degree line across the United States, dipping way south into Oklahoma. Back here, just the remnants of the cold air here in the Midwest. But there's a new shot coming in from the northwest into northeast part of the United States. North of that line, that's where we find the ice, Evansville, Indiana, Zanesville, Ohio, the entire Pennsylvania Turnpike, and now further east. The cold air is coming southward, and the moist air is coming in from the southwest. An overrunning situation, and that means an ice storm for some, snow for others. We've got live team report from the field. First off, we are monitoring conditions north of New York City in Westchester County, New York, where Mike Seidel is standing by, and north of Philadelphia. Things are getting pretty dicey, temperature falling into the 30s. Jeff Morrow will have that report. But first, a look at travel conditions and current weather just north of New York City. Here's Mike Seidel.
And Dave, tonight we've got a mixture of sleet and snow falling here at the base of the Tappan Zee Bridge. We're in Terrytown in Westchester County. We're about an hour or 45 minutes or so from New York City. And as you can see here on the roadways tonight, traffic is flowing, but it's not doing the speed limit. They've dropped the speed limit now down to 35 on the bridge. Very slippery and icy. We have seen the plows and saw trucks just come through moments ago. Another fatality of this storm early in the storm is the White Plains Airport. It has shut down for at least the time being. And also one of the major East River crossings between the Bronx and Queens, the Throgs Neck Bridge. Throgs Neck Bridge has closed due to accidents in both directions and a lot of ice. The salt trucks are up there trying to get the span reopened. So a lot of problems and numerous accidents across the tri-state area already being reported. We've got a lot of this to deal with tonight and tomorrow and into Friday morning. Snowfall for the most part, Then it goes back to freezing rain tomorrow night, and it's going to be midday Friday before we see any relief from the atmosphere as far as temperatures getting above freezing out here in the suburban areas, out here in Rockland and Westchester counties. Early storm predictions now, we're still calling for 2 to 4 inches in the city and 4 to 8 out here in suburbia. That would be a storm total between now and sometime tomorrow night. So watch the roadways. The rush hour is going to be a shambles tomorrow. You need extra time. If you don't have to drive tomorrow, stay home, and especially watch the elevated surfaces because we've had freezing rain and sleet and now snow on top of that. So a real mess day. We'll keep you updated here from Westchester County. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mike. We just saw that salt truck going by, so it's good to know the DOT is out there. Well, from New York City to Philadelphia, and that's where the cold air is headed, straight south. Here's Jeff Morrow with a report.
Well, Dave, we have temperatures which have dropped right down to the freezing mark here, and we are starting to get some icing. I was noticing on some of the cars as I was walking over here that some of this rain is starting to freeze on the cars, and on some of our light posts around there that are holding up the lights that are lighting me right now, we're getting some ice starting to form, and on the camera itself. So it is just starting here, and this is just the beginnings. The temperatures are going to go nowhere but down from here. We're expecting a low probably down into the mid-20s tonight, particularly northwest of Philly where we are here, up around the King of Prussia area near the King of Prussia Mall. We are right next to the Pennsylvania Turnpike, the big toll booth coming off the Schuylkill Expressway to the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and we're expecting conditions here to be very icy as we head on through the overnight hours and on into the early morning hours. Particularly tomorrow, the untreated road surfaces are going to be a sheet of ice, we expect. There will be some sleet, maybe even a little snow mixed in, but it's going to be the ice that's going to be the big problem here tonight. Once again, it is just starting, and it looks like at least the next 18 to 24 hours are going to be a mess in southeast Pennsylvania. Back to you, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Jeff. You're in the suburbs, but there's going to be icing in the city of Philadelphia here, too. Thanks so much for that live report. Well, we are in for it here the next day or two in the Northeast Corridor. This could be one of the worst driving couple of days we'll have all winter because of the ice as opposed to snow. With some expert analysis of the storm and what we are up against, I turn now to our winter storm specialist, our winter weather specialist, Mr. Paul Kosin. And Paul, you co-authored a book with Louis Uccellini called Northeast Snowstorm. So you are not a novice when it comes to this kind of situation.
No, I've looked at a lot of cases, and this has a lot of characteristics that are very similar to many major East Coast snowstorms, but it actually has some differences, at least in terms of what the forecast is going to be.
Let's talk about the elements briefly, and then what you can expect here in the morning when you go out.
Okay, what you can expect in the morning is the primary element is the...
In Chicago, yes, Sunday. Isn't that nice?